So when you go through an option to purchase, you will realize that there are a lot of terms and conditions which you may not understand. And today what we're going to do is to go through something very important, and that is the timeline. In particular, when do you pay what? So you can have a better idea. You do not get yourself caught up in a situation where you do not have enough funds for a certain portion of the option to purchase payment. All right, so here goes. I'm going to use a very simple method, all right, in which is a diagram, and I'm going to show you the timeline. I hope you understand. Follow me here. Now, first and foremost, let's say for example today is your option day, okay, and there you are, very happily you get your option. Hold on, okay, and therefore, okay, after paying off the 5%, what you really get is an option to purchase. Take note, you have not purchased a property yet. What happens is you have purchased an option to purchase that property. So therefore, yes, you are given the rights to purchase this property. You have not purchased the property yet. It's just that the seller, in this case a developer, because we are looking only at BUC, brand new building under construction, right? They are not allowed to sell the same unit to someone else. All right. So now within 2 weeks, right, the developer will send the sales and purchase agreement to your lawyer. Now, notice this. It says within 2 weeks. So what happens is it can be as fast as within 3 days, 4 days. And therefore, in order to plan out your timeline properly, you really have to work with the developer and request for them, like, can you please send the sales and purchase agreement at the last possible day. Now, why does it matter? Check this out. Number one, you do have to appoint your lawyer fast, because once you have appointed your lawyer, you will be able to instruct the developer, please send this sales and purchase agreement to this particular law firm, this particular lawyer, attention to this particular lawyer, and so that the lawyer can handle everything that comes along with the property purchase. Now, number two, within 3 weeks of receiving the sales and purchase agreement, you would have to exercise your option. Or if you do not exercise, what happens is you forfeit that option and you get back a portion of your option money. Now, the tricky part is this. When you have exercised your option, the date that you exercise your option, okay, also starts the countdown towards another 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks is for you to pay your stamp duty, which to some people could be the first substantial portion of money for this particular property purchase. Why? Because notice this, I said stamp duties, it is plural, which means it comes into effect your buyer's stamp duty, the BSD, or the additional buyer's stamp duties, which is the ABSD, or any other form of stamp duties, etc. It comes into point 2 weeks after you have exercised your sales and purchase agreement, which really means if you needed more time for funds to get in, you're pretty firm that your funds will be able to come in 4 weeks after you have optioned the property, after you have purchased the option for the property. So therefore, you will want the developer to drag it out the first 2 weeks before they send out the sales and purchase agreement to the law firm. In other cases, if they really send out the sales and purchase agreement probably the very next day after you have purchased your option, take note, your 3 weeks to exercise gets cut short. All right, and you really may run into a timeline issue with your funds. So which is why it's important to plan this out. Now, the last portion of this comes in within 8 weeks, and this is not within 8 weeks after you have paid your stamp duties. It is within 8 weeks counting from your option date. That means the date that you have purchased that option to purchase. That means you have gotten the option to purchase that 5%. All right, so within 8 weeks from the option date, that will be your completion date. And what are you expected as a buyer for completion date? Of course, payment. And what kind of payments are we looking at? You notice that, right? Okay, what they always say, the deposit for a property is always 20%. So the option fee is always 5%. So the last part, the completion, is deposit minus off whatever you've already paid for your option. In most cases, it will be the remaining 15%. Okay, so in some rare cases, because the option fee, probably the buyer paid slightly more, slightly less, seldom slightly less, but slightly more and which is why the legal way to put it has always been the 20% deducting off your option fees, and not just stating in the option to purchase or the sales and purchase agreement a flat 15%. I hope you understand this. All right, and also at the same time, the other monies come into effect here, because what you have purchased may already be something that has already built up. That means they probably built up, like the construction has already started, the foundation already done, and therefore the monies that are due may be more than that 15%. It could be according to that very construction stage. So you may have already been billed along with your full rest of your deposit, the rest of the construction stage money. And so at this point, do take note, your financial calculations come into play. So a property purchase in today's market is more complicated, and therefore it will be advisable if you go through your timeline and your financial planning properly. I would advise anyone out there who wants to get a property, regardless of whether it is brand new or if it is a resale or even a HDB or commercial, to really go through your property timeline and, most importantly, your financial, and including your financial timeline. Hope you have fun looking at this video. If you like this video, please feel free to share it and click subscribe so that you will be notified of more interesting videos coming from me. See you soon.